Hey folks, welcome to today's episode of Fudgy Insights.
With your hosts, Jen.
And Jesse. That's me.
Jen and Jesse. So, what is Fudgy Insights? Fudgy Insights is our take on business,
Entrepreneurship,
food,
and most importantly, working together.
also known as relationships. And one of the reasons we wanted to put this show together is as both entrepreneurs were married, in business together, and we've embarked on a brand new venture of Brigadeiros.
What's a Brigadero?
It's called Clado. K-L-A-D-O.
That's Clado. K-L-A-D-O.
And Clado's our company. So when Jess and I met 11 years ago.
It's getting close to 12.
Yeah, it's like a third of my life. I wanted to surprise him. I wanted to give him something special. I wanted to have him like me. So I made the one thing I knew how to do, which was Brigadeiros. And growing up, Brigadeiros, my mom would always make them at Brazilian events, at parties. They were a staple of my childhood. And over the years, my mom taught me how to make it, and voila, I made it for this fine fellow.
And I ate all of them in one sitting.
And from there, we realized that, okay, these aren't that great for you if you're going to eat an entire batch of them. So we're like, there has to be a way to make these a little bit better, a little bit more fun. Because a lot of the standard Brigadeiros are just not as creative. They tend to be chocolate, nuts, and maybe some fruit.
Mostly, yeah. Coconut.
Yeah.
Strawberry.
And that was pretty much it. So we started experimenting and we realized that there's a massive void in the market, especially here in the US. Brigadeiros, most people don't even know what they are. So we decided to embark on our own journey of making, creating, and selling these guys.
So let's scale it back just a little bit. That's a nice little story about how we came into business. So there's a couple elements that we should break down. One is, you have a good idea. Does that mean that you should be in business? The short answer is no. Jen might say
I'd say yes.
So I'd say no. The second part of that is, should you go into business with your partner, really your life partner? That could be bad for business at home. It's just, something to think about. And the other thing is, well, taking that idea, does that mean that you didn't have a business just because you have an idea and you're executing on it? So we want to break that down over time and talk about relationships, working together. And this could transcend just to your home life, dating, marriage, anything in between. Working together, certainly. So how do you collab and how does that affect possibly your relationship outside of work? And then taking an idea and from that ideation stage and how do you really turn that into a business. So entrepreneurship is an element of it, relationship is an element of it, and just following your ideas and your dreams, which is a big part of what kind of Jen has gotten me to learn in this process. So we're going to cover all that in these tutorials and these discussions, and we hope that you kind of parse it out and see what kind of fits your bill.
Yeah, and we want to inspire people. We want to give you the honest truth. When we first started out in business, there's a lot of books out there. Some stuff full of fillers, other are just theatricals and theoretical in some ways. And how do you navigate all that and find something that works for you? We want to use our business, our experience, our failures in some ways, and also our successes to help guide you into whatever you choose to do. That we've taken big risks. Some of them not the greatest ideas. Some of them have been fantastic. But how can we want our story to hopefully inspire those out there that are stuck in a job they hate or they're living their dreams. And we hope that you continue to tune in to our show, Fudgy Insights, where we're going to give you the nitty gritty, the fudgies, and the insights.
Yeah, I think when you start out in any business or endeavor, you think only about the most glamorous aspects of it. And the truth is, I think 99% of it is not glamorous.
No.
it's that 1% that you see, you know, an Instagram story about or some other social media post. You know, you want to certainly celebrate the
wins.
The wins, exactly. But it's that 99% that most people operate within. It's that 24/7 job. You know, it's a lot different than just going to an office job. It never stops. There's trials and tribulations, and for the most part, especially when you're starting off, it's just you, or just us in this case.
Absolutely. And it's the fact that nobody sees what goes on behind the scenes. You usually see the successes, so the 1% that you see out there, they've made it. Everything has been edited. You're only seeing the good side of business. And there's so much greatness, but there's also things that most people don't care about. Like a business plan, that's not sexy. Trademarking, who cares? Yeah. Balance sheet, ugh. So there's so many things that go on that's part of any business, whether you work for yourself, whether you work for others. And in some ways you might be wondering, why do you care? Like, who are we to kind of come and create a whole episode series of business, love, and food? But we have, between the two of us, a lot of experience.
A lot of work experience. Entrepreneurial experience up until this, not a ton, truth be told. But you start to think back and say, wait a second, entrepreneurial spirit. I mean,
what is that?
What is it? When does it start? Do you think of back into your own childhood? Maybe you had an experience. Like, I think, okay, I never started a business when I was a kid. You know, I didn't have a lemonade stand. I lived in an apartment, so where was I going to go out to the park? That would have been weird.
You're knocking on your neighbor's door, like, hey, would you like some lemonade?
But then I'm thinking, like, wait a second. I did kind of run a casino in my 4th grade, you know, Jewish day school, and it was kind of like Giovanni Ribisi in Boilerplate, but just, you know, Boiler Room, sorry, with like, I don't know, a bunch of 10-year-olds in yarmulkes playing in the back. So maybe I had an entrepreneurial spirit, I didn't even know about it. Mine was probably hidden for so long going throughout, and then I met you, and then I was like, oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, like I never knew there was a name for this desire to create, to do something else outside of the norm. Growing up, I always tried to hustle. I would sell used library books outside of the library for 50 cents. And over the years, I always felt unfulfilled. I wanted to do something more, from painting to writing to, well, we'll save all our endeavors for the next episode. But there were many, and I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't even know there was a name. Most people just said I'm eccentric. I just can't conform. That I have some ADD there as well. Who knows? Most likely. But we found out that, hey, there's a group of people that feel similarly, that have what is called entrepreneurship spirit. And we didn't know we could even have that. Before going into chocolatiering and several other endeavors, I used to work in corporate America. I always searched for big pays, and technology was where business was. So for over 10 years, I worked in tech, and that's what I did. And so from there, I learned a lot of skills that I didn't think would translate into entrepreneurship. But believe it or not, it does, because magically I learned how to build websites.
And I still work in corporate America. I'm a little envious of her being able to do this full time, but I'm also happy for her that she had the opportunity to really pursue this and really give it a go with this entrepreneurial spirit. My background is I'm an attorney. I've been one for 10 years or something like that. And I think that, you know, you hear about if you go to any form of grad school, I think it really does help you think a little differently. So I think it certainly helps when bringing this that kind of more cerebral attitude towards our entrepreneurial kind of endeavors, because we complement each other a little bit. And I think that serves to one good point, which is if you are going to go into business with somebody, certainly find somebody that complements what you have, or where you're short in certain skill set, find somebody that can fill those gaps.
Because otherwise, if you both bring the same exact thing to the table, you're gonna have problems. Because also from a personality standpoint, someone will eventually trump the other, no pun intended. And that will just start breaking your relationship. So we've been able to define our roles, and for the most part, I try to stay in my lane. I usually swerve into Jesse's lane as well, but that's one of the things that we're kind of working through, is figuring out, okay, these are my strong suits and these are his strong suits. And the areas where maybe neither of us are strong, we're learning to relinquish and bring in help that can fill those voids and gaps for us.
Absolutely. I think part of just going on any kind of journey is learning a little bit about yourself and learning about those around you. So whether it's a business partner, it's a husband, a wife, a spouse, somebody you're dating, children even for that matter, it's all about kind of learning how to work together and navigate that. So if it's balancing work-life, home balance, that's one thing. If it's balancing a business or two with your other job, we like to say burning the candle at both ends, which both of us have done quite a bit and still do to this day. Or it's just navigating relationships with those that are around you. We hope that learning from these lessons will also be able to translate to something else. You don't necessarily have to have a business that you're starting to actually take some of this and incorporate it into your daily life.
Yeah, so our goal is through this series that will inspire you from your day-to-day, your relationships, really good food, and how to take a dream and maybe turn it into reality and bring it to fruition. So continue to tune in with us. This is our intro episode, so we figured before we just dive right into things, we want to just give you a little bit about us and why we're doing this, and we hope you enjoy.
So remember,
budget
till you make it.
Until next time.